What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in for another video. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. Check out the channel. We got tons of old videos on there, bunch of great bass fishing content. Check out the members only page too if you're interested in some more one-on-one type content, live stream, stuff like that. There's some really cool stuff on the channel, so be sure and check out everything on the page. So, welcome to the Juice video. This is the Juice series, first off, is presented by Fish USA. So if you're not familiar with Fish USA, they're a huge online tackle retailer. So they got everything you need for fishing, not just bass fishing like we're gonna talk about, but everything you need for fishing. So check out Fish USA if you haven't already. But the Juice series is essentially my recap videos from each tournament that I fished throughout the year. So this is the first Juice of the 2025 season, stage 1 on the Bass Pro Tour at Lake Conroe. We're gonna dive in and give you the juice, tell you all how it went down, the baits, rods, reels, line, all that good stuff that we caught them on, and give you guys a little sneak peek into what's coming next. So if you guys are ready, let's jump in and talk about the juice. Okay, so Lake Conroe stage 1. We did not have the best event. We finished 33rd place out of 66. So literally dead center, middle of the field. We finished 50%. We beat 50%. We lost to 50%. So and to my standards, that's not really a good tournament. But there was a lot of things that happened out of my control. We're not going to get into any of that, but it was a trying tournament for sure. And with the new format, only able to use live scope for one period a day, decision making and time management was really, really crucial on when you spent that period. And I just had a few things happen that didn't allow me to do that to the proper ability. So let's just go through and tell you what I was targeting. So obviously there was a lot of fish still in their winter patterns out in the middle of the lake, the middle of the creeks, the mouth of the creeks, chasing bait fish. So throwing around a minnow in my live scope period was absolutely critical. That's pretty much what I spent the whole time doing, throwing a minnow and a jerkbait. So this right here, this is a Yamamoto scope shad. This is actually the 3.5 inch version. So it's a little bit bigger. He's actually tore up a little bit. This is a color I'm not sure I can show you guys yet. It's a prototype color that we're working on coming out, but it's a cool new color coming. So I caught him on that one, and I also caught him on the stealth blue glimmer color, a little bit clear with some blue glimmer. I don't think the color really mattered. You know, the fish were really aggressive when you could get around them and present your bait properly. So it was all about presenting your bait properly. I'm not really sure the color mattered a whole lot. So I had, I think, 3 or 4 or 5 minnows rigged up on the deck with various weights. You know, I had a 1/8 for those fish that were very close to the surface, and I had all the way down to a 3/8 ounce of a jig head for those fish that were further down, and everything in between. So we had a lot of different options rigged up on the deck, and I would switch back and forth, you know, depending on where the fish was sitting, you know, in the water column. So other than that, I caught some fish on a jerkbait in my scope period as well. You know, this is one of my favorite jerkbaits. It's actually discontinued, this color is, but it's one of my favorite little jerkbaits that I throw. And that caught me a few fish in my scope period. So those were the 2 baits that really dominated that for me. Now, after that, you know, the live scope period, you kind of had to transition and fish more of the bank or traditional, you know, grass fishing type stuff. So day 1, I took the approach of more fishing the hard structure, the rock, the docks, seawalls, stuff like that. You know, I threw a crankbait around a little bit, caught a couple fish on a, you know, a little 6-foot diving crankbait, and a few fish on a drop shot. The drop shot was probably my second best bait throughout the week. You know, throwing the 6-inch roboworm, just a straight tail roboworm. This is a brown purple hologram is the name of that color. But I was just throwing him around, pitching him to isolated targets, you know, like docks, seawalls, pipes. You know, a lot of the seawalls in Lake Conroe have drainage pipes that come out through them. And when it rains, there was some warm runoff coming out through there, so the fish kind of sucked up next to those pipes. And then there's a little bit of a washout there, so a little bit of hard structure, where that pipe kind of washed out some structure. So that's kind of what I was targeting. The first day in my non-scope periods, I caught a couple fish on the drop shot, a couple fish on a crankbait, and that was really that. So after day one, I was sitting in rough shape. I was in 57th place, I think. I was pretty far down there. I didn't have the best day. So going into day two, I knew I needed to make a switch. Now there was an area in the back of a creek that I had fished in practice, and I didn't have any bites, but I knew that it's set up right. There was some coontail grass growing in there, and if you guys know me, I love fishing grass. So to start day two, I started on a couple of the rock stretches I fished on day one with a crankbait and did that for about 45 minutes. And then I decided it was time to do something different, get up in that grass. Even though I fished it in practice and actually in pre-practice, and I never had a bite either of those times, I knew with the warming trend, those fish might be moving in there. And I made the decision to go up and just start fishing some new water. I guess it's not technically new water because I fished it in practice, but I hadn't had any bites in there yet. So I went up there and picked up a couple baits I'm really confident in and just got to fishing. So the first up is a chatterbait. This is a 3/8 ounce jackhammer, 3-inch Yamamoto Zako on the back. That's super important because it shrinks the profile, the overall profile of that bait, and then it allows it to really dart side to side. And that specific one right here, this specific bait, was really acting nice. It was darting side to side, doing exactly what I wanted. And once I seen that, I had confidence that I was gonna get a bite. And it didn't take too long fishing back in there. I caught a couple fish, almost 3 pounds. And that really kind of, calmed my nerves. I knew I'd found a group of fish. So that was in the first period. The second period, I decided to use my live scope token, if you will, and went back out, used the minnow and the jerkbait, caught us a few more fish. And then the third period, I went back to the grass stretch and just hunkered down for the whole period, threw the chatterbait, and even pulled out a couple little tricks like this guy right here. This is just the 1/4 ounce rattle trap, black chrome back. Caught a couple key fish on him as well, and we really made a rally in that third period. I thought we potentially could make a run up to get a check, but in the end we were just a little bit short. And barring everything that happened to us this week with things out of my control, I feel like it was a success, and we survived Lake Conroe, moving on with a decent finish. So like I said, it was a trying event for sure, but overall we caught us a few bass, and hopefully that we survived just to get enough points in that one. So coming next on the channel, so rather than doing a full tournament style video going through every fish catch and the whole process, we're going to do things a little bit different this year. So we're going to basically pick out a few of the key fish catches throughout the competition. It may be a little different on each event. If we make all the way to the championship round on an event, we may break it up into 2 or 3 videos, just depending on how many fish get caught. But basically, we're going to do a little bit different video of a more of a highlight reel of a few of my favorite catches from each event, and we're going to kind of walk you through. I'm going to kind of overlay, kind of talk through each fish catch, what I was thinking, what I was doing, and kind of, create the story of how that fish was crucial to the day or crucial to the tournament, what I was thinking at that moment. Just kind of a little bit different, kind of behind the scenes stuff that, kind of get in my head and kind of, voice over as, what I was thinking as it was going on. So it'll be a little bit different than anything we've done in the past, but I'm pretty excited about it. So that'll be the next video on the channel. Anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully you learned something from this video. Lake Conroe really showed out. It was really impressive to see all the fish caught. A lot of those fish got caught in one little area. And looking back, I made the decision not to get in the community. I didn't want to be around all those boats. I wanted to find something to myself. It may or may not have been the best decision. You know, I probably could have got in there and caught some more fish than I did, but that's just not my style. It's not what I like to do, and I feel like over the long run, it'll benefit me more to continue to fish my way, my style, and avoid the crowd. You know, I didn't think that area would hold up for 2 or 3, 4 days, so I tried to avoid it as much as I could, but that's how it goes. You know, looking back, you always know where you went wrong, so it's easy to sit here and question your decisions, but at the time I thought they were the right move, so that's all that matters. Anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in. Leave me those likes, comments down below. Stay tuned for the channel for some more great stuff coming, and we'll see you guys next time.